State takes everybody's best punch, so one bad night can shatter sky-high hopes. The last 2 seasons, they've stumbled once in settings just like this. Nebraska is starving for a signature victory. Scott Frost Cornhuskers inspired underdogs as Ryan Day's dominant Buckeyes try to dodge the upset trap tonight in Corn Country.
Here in the heartland, there are more open fields than foliage. But the colors change all the same when autumn comes, because that's when the sea of red rises and Big Ten battles bloom.
Why don't you take what you want from me? Take what you need from me. Take what you want to go.
These are the Buckeyes, 2019.
Down he goes. Gets him. Chase Young.
No losses, new coach, and a duo in the backfield that's putting an overpowering O in Ohio State. But the Cornhuskers have a storied history.
Ross scores another touchdown.
And a feeling that fall isn't all that's in the air.
Touchdown, Nebraska.
The new era of Nebraska football is too.
Why don't you take what you want from me?
Under the lights in Lincoln, before 90,000 strong, the Buckeyes better bring their best to Nebraska on Saturday Night Football.
Rainy in Nebraska. Welcome to Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. Tonight's Big Ten collision, the 4th-ranked, undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes against the 3-1 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Consecutive sellout number 371 here in Memorial Stadium. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. Great to be back swimming in this sea of red for the first time in a long time. We know the locals are keyed up. Ohio State's been the standard, though, in this league. We'll see how big the gap is.
Yeah, this is a big night. We find out where really Nebraska is. It's Scott Frost in his 2nd year trying to build this program back up. And to be candid, we find out really where Ohio State is with Justin Fields. And if we think they're a top 2 or 3 team in the country, we'll get that answer tonight, how they perform in some adversity and dealing with this crowd.
Now, already this afternoon, some upsets really had to battle to survive. Notre Dame did it with defense. They forced 5 turnovers against Virginia. Jameer Jones with a stack here. Tagovailoa takes it back. That sets up a touchdown. 21-3 Irish after halftime.
Well, this Notre Dame defense, Clark Lee, the defensive coordinator, becoming a real story. I thought they played well last week in Athens, kept him in that football game. Big statement win for the Irish after the disappointing loss a week ago in Athens.
How about this? Number 1 Clemson barely survives in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels barrel in. Final minute and a half. Matt Brown says we're going for 2 in the win, but the option play snuffed out.
I like the call by Matt Brown. First-year coach, takes the chance, goes for it, comes up short. Remember, Clemson has had close calls in the past and lost them to Pitt and NC State. This time, it's Syracuse. This time, they find a way to get the win, and they can learn a valuable lesson on how to try to improve from where they are right now.
Modest numbers for Trevor Lawrence. Speaking of elite players, Ohio State's got a whole bunch of them, including the top pass rusher in the country. Chase Young is a game wrecker to opposing offenses.
You see 17.5 sacks over his career. Just an amazing year that he's having right now. The reason, he's healthy. Last year he played on sprained ankles. Now he's healthy, and he's got his hands full. The Ohio State defense knows they have to contain Adrian Martinez. Last year, Martinez was able to run, throw, and create. Ohio State, the entire week, they've talked about how to contain Martinez and keep him in the pocket, make him throw to be able to move the ball.
Came close last year, but Scott Frost wants no part of a shootout tonight because Ohio State's offense has been so powerful. We'll talk about Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins, and the rest when we come back to Revved Up Lincoln, Nebraska. Fireworks pregame here in Nebraska. Great anticipation. We'll see if this Cornhusker defense can slow down a very, very powerful Ohio State offense. You know, Justin Fields, the highest profile transfer in college football, has come in, won the job. 19 total touchdowns in his first year as a starter so far. But this is a test for him tonight.
Yeah, it is. And I think if you're talking about stopping Ohio State or trying to slow them down, believe it or not, I think it starts with J.K. Dobbins, who's taken over this running back position with Mike Weber moving on to the NFL. The blocking has been great these first 4 games. Watch how he does a nice job of breaking these arm tackles. He's gotten stronger, low center of gravity, Nebraska has to start there. If Ohio State's able to run the ball, Justin Fields has shown an ability to be very diverse in his ability to throw the ball. The arm strength from the pocket. Look at the laser, 43 yards to the back of the end zone. Benjamin Victor goes up and makes a play. Under center, watch for the bootleg. Puts a lot of stress on a defense with his athletic ability, but he's so comfortable just flipping that with accuracy and the arm strength. So from the pocket, on the edge, a lot to deal with for the Nebraska D.
Check these categories, which are key indicators of how dominant a team is. Red zone touchdown percentage decides so many games. Buckeyes scoring an 85% clip. There's a 67% gap between their opponents. Look at the points off turnovers, and the sack differential is enormous as well.
You can make the argument the first 4 weeks of the season coming into this week, Ohio State's been the most complete, most dominant team in the country. Tonight, in this atmosphere, it'll be a different challenge. Let's see if they're up for it.
And the Cornhuskers entering the red light district. Bathed in red light, they touched the traditional horseshoe as they make their way from the locker room and onto the red carpet. Scott Frost, of course, who made that walk as a player in year 2 as a head coach, trying for his signature victory here. It's a young team. Many thought they were a year away. See if they can escalate that timetable tonight. This huge crowd is more hopeful than confident, but they are hoping to see something very special tonight. And Nebraska, signature return towards the glory days. Can Ohio State survive this upset trap against a Big Ten West foe? This has been the Nissan pregame rush. Kickoff from Fired Up Lincoln is next. 66 degrees and slightly soggy in Lincoln. You're watching a presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. Ohio State and Nebraska. Ryan Day, joined by Maria Taylor on the sidelines.
All right, thanks, Chris. Coach, you said that this is a big road test for your team. What did you want them to understand about the challenge before taking the field today?
Well, there's going to be adversity along the way. We got to handle it. We got to handle the crowd. We got to handle adversity somewhere along the line, but we got to play tough. We got to play hard.
Okay, what do you need to see your offense do and be effective at early in order to have success?
We got to win a line of scrimmage, and we have to make big plays in a pass game.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
Hasn't lost as a head coach, 4-0 this year. Told us the #1 challenge by far, the weight of expectations. One stumble in a setting like this can spoil the seasons by the Buckeyes' high standards, potentially.
No question, and when the torch gets handed to you at a school like Ohio State, it becomes your team, and the identity of the team becomes your face and your brand in games like this. It's a big opportunity for him personally and for Ohio State to see where they are.
Nebraska's offense on the field first. Ohio State won the toss and deferred. So Blake Wan'Dale to kick it away, and we'll see #1, Wan'Dale Robinson, the talented and versatile true freshman weapon. See if he gets a chance to return it. Driven to the end zone, and he will bring it out. Buckeyes, normally strong coverage team, stops him at the 17 as a flag is down. Adrian Martinez is a freshman a year ago, very nearly engineered a shocking upset in Columbus.
During the return, holding, return team number 18. Half the distance to the goal, first down and 10.
Sophomore from Fresno comes off a 300-yard passing, 100-yard rushing game in the rally at Illinois last week.
Has great ability. We talked in the open about what he did last year against Ohio State. A runner, a thrower, a creator is going to start inside his own 10 after the holding call. But if Nebraska is going to compete with Ohio State, this talented defense, Martinez has got to have a big night.
Empty backfield, 4 receivers. Mo Washington motioning in. And Martinez immediately under pressure from Chase Young off the edge, escapes and gets 3. Young was going to be now flag. He was hit out of bounds. So a mental mistake against an overly keyed up defense.
Yeah, not only does Malik Harrison hit him out of bounds, he goes low, diving at the lower body. Right here, he goes down and dives. He's way out of bounds. And, you know, you're keyed up as a defender, right? But you gotta be able to pull back there, especially when you have a team like Nebraska pinned here early in the game. Now you give him a break.
What Chase Young wasted no time in getting around the edge and getting after the quarterback.
Get ready. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. Nebraska's aware of that. They've got to come up with a plan to slide protection towards him or try to take him away and go underneath him with that penetration upfield.
Robinson comes in motion. Washington in the backfield. He's got it running left. Makes the first man miss and comes up with 9 yards. The sophomore dinged last week, passed concussion protocol on Sunday, runs behind this offensive line.
Yeah, Farniak is going to be tested. Hymas on the left side, both the tackles because of the speed of Ohio State. See the speed on the perimeter. Spielman and Robinson are the playmakers with, of course, the running back, Washington.
Ross told us he'll be very careful running with tempo tonight. Doesn't want to make this a track meet, but that short gain is enough to move the sticks.
Talked about Young on the far left, 2-18. Jonathan Cooper, leader and captain, back for the first time all year. Tough Borland in the middle, Malik Harrison. Pete Warner, 3 really good linebackers, and a lot of talent back here. Jordan Fuller, kind of the quarterback there, number 4 in the middle, playing center field at free safety.
Robinson hit hard. They'll find different ways, creative ways to get number 1 the football. Harrison made the tackle.
Boy, has he been a breath of fresh air for Scott Frost in this offense. They had J.D. Spielman coming back as a receiver. They had Maurice Washington as a running back, but they needed somebody to come in to help them. And Wan'Dale Robinson comes in as a true freshman, a running back out of high school in Kentucky, but has learned to be a receiver and a running back in this offense. Great versatility in the structure.
Got 3 yards in that first down play. And now Martinez gets it out quickly. It's a bullet to Washington. It was just behind him, and immediately Jeffrey Okudah knocked him down for a gain of 1.
Yeah, we'll see if Washington's okay. He's dinged up last week. Looks like he's limping off the field now. Give Mills a chance to come into the game. That play right there is an example of the difference in what Ohio State's doing defensively this year schematically. A lot more zone, which allows the defensive backs to have their eyes on the quarterback and the ball and allows them to react quicker. That's exactly what Okudah did right there.
He needs 7 on this 3rd down. Dedrick Mills spelling Washington in the backfield. Martinez immediately chased and flushed by Young and delivers a pass that's intercepted. Okudah came across and picked it off, and immediately the pass rush imposing itself.
Yeah, you're used to Chase Young getting outside, right? Getting outside out here. Instead, he works back to the inside and flushes Martinez. Give Chase Young a lot of credit. See how he works to the inside? Martinez feels him, and this is just Jeffrey Okudah anticipating, jumping in front, and making a big-time play. You're talking about one of the top corners, if not the top corner in the entire country.
Didn't have a career reception until last week. Now he's got 2 in 2 games. And the Buckeyes set up at the 50 for their first offensive possession. Bill Serbinsky is the referee. Could not hear his mic there. Maybe indicating that Tom Herbert, the replay official, wants to take a look at whether Okudah did secure that interception.
And they take a peek at that to see, as he went to the surface, to see if his hands and arms got underneath the ball before it hit the surface, or to prevent it from hitting the surface.
Have an early wrap for our rules expert in the booth, Dave Kataya. And to me, Dave, looks like the ball was secure before it hit the ground. What do you see?
Well, the rule is he has possession, and even if the ball touches the ground, unless he loses.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down and 10, Ohio State.
As I was saying, that is a good call because the ball moves, but he never loses control or possession.
So the takeaway gives excellent field position for this first series for Justin Fields. Of course, originally committed to Penn State, went to Georgia, couldn't beat out Jake Fromm. Transferred to Ohio State, immediately eligible, and he has been impressive throwing and running the first 4 games. They fake it to Dobbins, and Fields slings it to Austin Mack. long throw for a pretty short gain. Check the Ohio State offensive line. They've been run blocking and pass blocking well.
Yeah,
this year so far.
four new starters up front. Josh Myers doing a nice job at center. You can see a lot of skill tonight. KJ Hill, veteran. Olave doing a nice job with his route running, and J.K. Dobbins, one of the top backs in the country.
He talked about his physicality on display there. Legs churning. He picked up 5 before Mo Berry stopped him.
Yeah, Mo Berry hit him, and then he went for a ride for about another 5 or 6 yards. He is a physical back. This defense knows they have their hands full. 2 gap, meaning that the defensive line's got to do a good job of trying to build a fence up front, letting those linebackers try to run and make a lot of tackles. Lamar Jackson on one side, 21. And then 23 on the other. Poodle, they've got to hold up, playing a lot of man-to-man against a great group of receivers.
2nd and 5. Dobbins plows ahead. The Texan always has had blazing speed, but he added muscle. Teammates say from the first day at Camkirk, they saw a different runner.
Yeah, and I think Mike Weber, the last couple of years, he and Dobbins shared carries. I think it made him feel like he had to show what he could do. They say this year he's taking those singles, those doubles, not trying to make every play a home run.
It's a 3rd and 2. Just needs a single, but he is knocked down right at the 30, right at the marker by Berry. He'll spot it, giving him first down yardage.
And that's exactly the Nebraska defense right there. Now, they give up the first down, but the defensive line occupies the O-line, and that gives the linebackers a chance to come up and clean it up. Berry, a physical middle linebacker, comes up just a little bit short of preventing Dobbins from getting that first down.
He's the captain, leading tackler, and the fiery voice in that Nebraska defense.
Ohio State looking at the safeties on this play to see if they have a chance to try to attack downfield vertically.
Play action. Fields, pump fakes. Does take a shot to the end zone. Jump ball. KJ Hill could not come down with it. Well defended by Cam Taylor-Britt.
You just kind of had that feeling, Chris, that after grinding out that first down,
Pass interference.
that they would eventually take that
Number
shot.
5.
They get the pass interference on Taylor-Britt.
Automatic first down.
He goes up. See if he makes contact before the football gets there. Boy, that is really close, man. I don't know about that. You know, a lot of times if your eyes aren't turned and finding the football, they'll call that, but I don't see any contact.
His arm went between Hill's arms.
Yeah, and in fact, he touched the ball.
Kind of how it's coached.
That was well played. There's no face guarding in college football.
Penalty moves the ball to the 15. First down. Empty backfield. Fields pump fakes again. Has room to run. And he will dive for the end zone as Ohio State cashes in the pick. Draws first blood in Lincoln.
But watch the middle of the defense clear out with respect to the receivers getting out. You have a back, you have a tight end, linebackers clear out, nobody there to account for the athletic Justin Fields. And he's got a big arm, he makes plays from the pocket, but this is the difference between Ohio State last year, where they distributed and threw the ball from the quarterback spot with Dwayne Haskins, to now a mobile, athletic playmaker in Fields, not just throwing, but also right there, a run and a scramble for a touchdown.
He's a very enthusiastic runner, and he has 7 rushing touchdowns to go with his 13 touchdown passes. The crowd still booing the pass interference call that set up the touchdown, but it all started with this athletic diving pick by Okudah. And then Ohio State takes it 50 yards with Justin Fields finding pay dirt, and the hometown Cornhuskers down an early touchdown. Buckeyes take it 50 yards after the interception in 5 plays. Pass interference in the end zone. The key part of the drive. Fields takes it the final 15 yards. And Wan'Dale boots it away. This time Robinson will not return it. He's one of our Chick-fil-A impact players, along with Mo Washington, who's averaging 7.7 a carry. Also an effective receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson, they're going to have to get him going, find space. Maurice Washington, see if he's okay after getting a little dinged up there on that first drive. Talked about Chase Young. He's going to be a factor all night, getting into the backfield and trying to make plays. And Jeffrey Okudah, one of the top corners, as I said, maybe the top corner this year in college football, has size, length, confidence. They'll leave him on islands from time to time, also sit him back in zone. He made plays in that first drive, defending the run, also that big interception.
Robinson at the tailback position, high school running back, as you mentioned. He was knocked down quickly by Damon Arnett, got 2.5.
You know, you're a big underdog at home. You're in the second year with Scott Frost. You're trying to show you can play with the big boys. You end up throwing an interception on your first drive. Ohio State goes down and scores. Scott Frost needs some positive things to happen on this drive.
They fake it to Robinson. Martinez now flips it. And some confusion there. Very nearly intercepted, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
They're trying to draw the defense to set up that screen, and he just panics here. He should have kept baiting that defense and waiting to give Robinson a chance to just kind of dump it over top of that defense. But I think he felt a little urgency out of respect for that pass rush, and he hurried it.
They want him to be more decisive, less measured, just kind of cut it loose. On 3rd down from the pocket. Flushed out quickly. Kind of a deer in the headlights look, and he is swarmed by white jerseys, and it's a very quick 3 and out.
So what did Martinez do a good job of last year? He scrambling, creating. Ohio State is going to do a good job of keeping him in the pocket, and then they're going to spy with an athletic linebacker in Baron Browning. Keep him in the pocket, 3rd down, nowhere to go, and look at all the white jerseys being able to run to the football with their eyes on Adrian Martinez.
Isaac Armstrong, the senior from here in Lincoln, left-footed punter. Ohio State's been a terrific punt block team this season. Already blocked a couple of them. They come after this one. The lefty gets it out. It's low, not especially pretty, and it is returnable. But excellent coverage as they swarm, call for a loss. So Ohio State forces the 3 and out, gets the football back, up by a touchdown. 6 minutes in. Cornhuskers Eric Crouch, Johnny Rogers, 2 of the 3 Nebraska Heisman winners, stopping by the Nissan Heisman House here in Lincoln this afternoon. Combined, these programs have 10 Heisman Trophy winners, of course 7 for the Buckeyes. Both members of the 900 win club. Nebraska reaching that milestone a week ago. Welcome in Oklahoma and Notre Dame got their 900th program victories earlier today. Ohio State from just inside their 40. And Dobbins picks his way, shows the patience, shows the push. And Olave got a block on the edge.
Talking about the push. Watch the Ohio State offensive line. Wyatt Davis, right guard, the center. Josh Myers pulling around. Watch the center pull around 71. Gets a good push. There's Wyatt Davis. Look at that push. Josh Myers pulls around, hits Barry, pushes him back 5 yards. Makes it a lot easier to run.
Guys in red run roller skates.
Yes.
Quickly in the Nebraska territory, threatening to build a quick early double-digit lead.
And when you run the ball like that and control the line of scrimmage, boy, oh boy, it puts a lot on the safeties to start creeping up. Then you've got Fields and the receivers one-on-one.
Fields, second pass attempt tonight, looking downfield, now checks it down and finds Hill, who's spun out of bounds after a 4-yard gain.
There's so much to deal with when you prepare for the Ohio State offense this year. There's the traditional spread stuff where he's in a shotgun with 3 or 4 receivers. They get under center with 2 tight ends and a running back. They bootleg out of that. Just a lot to deal with outstanding spacing from the receivers.
Dobbins slams straight ahead. Knocked down by Darian Daniels, the Oklahoma State transfer. 3 very big bodies in that Nebraska defensive front.
And that was a nice play by just holding the point. It's what you want to see from Daniels and the Davis twins. Be able to hold the point against that aggressive and athletic Ohio State O-line.
Yeah, 3 guys each, 315 plus. So Daniels rolls on 3rd down, and it's a first down completion to Olave, the sophomore.
Yeah, and Justin Fields looks out to his right on 3rd down and about 4, and he sees the cushion. Look at the cushion, and he just says, I'll take it. If you're going to give me the first down, I'm just going to roll out to the right, get away from any threat of the blitz, and flip it out to one of my more talented receivers with that cushion. Easy first down.
Tough receiving core to defend because Fields spreads the ball around. You can't just key on 1 or 2 guys, really.
That's right. Incredible defensive depth at receiver. They lost Johnny Dixon and Paris Hamilton and Terry McLaurin. And here comes that next wave of receivers in a very deep group.
On first down, Dobbins breaks free and drags a tackler for another first down near the 20. Cam Taylor-Britt stopped him.
Yeah, reading that defensive end, does a nice job of taking Khalil Davis, 94 out, reads him, and then look at the push right there. Nice job at the left tackle. Munford getting up to Honus, that middle linebacker. Again, continuing to get to the second level and pushing the Nebraska defense back.
They bring in 3 fresh bodies, a new front 3 for the Cornhuskers for this first down play. Dobbins again hit in the backfield and knocked down for a short loss. Mo Berry penetrated.
Chris, that's exactly what I saw is Berry saying, hey, instead of sitting back here, letting this offensive lineman come at me and pushing me back, I'm going to beat them to the punch. I'm going to get downhill. That time he penetrates the Ohio State offensive line before they can come out of their stance and get up to him. He's the aggressor there.
Tailback Demario McCall is in the slot to the right. Comes in motion. Fields looking to his left. Pump fakes again. Still buying time and just throws it away.
Nice job of containing the athletic Fields. Remember, he hurt him already with his legs. This time only rushing 3, dropping 8. But still containing him, and even though he wanted to take off, not letting him create and find an open receiver downfield.
Buckeyes 2 for 2 on previous third downs. Here comes the noise. Empty backfield. Dobbins split out wide left. It's a straight run. He's got the edge, and he's got a first and goal.
What a call. And an understanding and preparation. You're going to get man-to-man, and when you have motion from the tight end, this defender's going to go with him, and the man from the corner, there's nobody left on the alley. Watch the corner leave with the receiver. You got a lineman pulling around. He didn't even need the lineman. That's a play call. That's design formation to get the defense and what you want them, and take advantage of the man on the edge and run it with the athletic Fields.
Fields under center now. 2 tight ends to the right. Power formation, Dobbins straight ahead, and he'll stretch for a gain to the 2-yard line. Pure power football, and you see how tough it is to stop a guy with a strong arm and live legs.
Yeah, his legs really, any quarterback that has legs puts a lot on a defense, but with his size and his ability to throw the ball, the receivers, it's just a lot to get ready for any defense.
3 tight ends in the game now on second and goal. Looking to throw in the flat. Hill's got it, and he scores standing up. And Ohio State stretches the lead. 2 touchdowns in 2 possessions. There's a flag down, a conversation. Let's see what it's about. They're still conferring, but the touchdown will stand.
How about KJ Hill when he went in motion? He was trying to contain himself in excitement because he knew that he had man-to-man. In fact, he pointed to Boodle to make sure Justin Fields saw the same thing that he saw. Well, he goes in motion. Watch him go in motion, Chris, and see. Watch 14 right in front of you. Kind of points. I got him in man. He's in man. Tight end. Rucker kind of sets a pick. Nobody can get to the outside.
Senior know what he saw there.
He saw
4th touchdown. 14-0. Taco Bell celebrating passionate student sections with the Live Más Student Section of the Year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Use the hashtag Live Más Student Section. So the Penn State students on the road last night go down and invade the Maryland student section. They had mostly left. That was a bold move, I thought.
It really is. They got a good football team, by the way.
That puts you in the running. They do.
Yes. How about Jeffrey Okudah, the start he's had tonight? Talked about how they're playing more zone. When you play zone, it keeps your eyes on the quarterback, allows you to react quicker instead of your eyes being on the man that you're covering. It's a different approach, Ohio State defensively. You can see the great job of getting into the backfield by Chase Young, and then the eyes in anticipation, almost baiting Martinez to throw that ball, and then jumps in front of it for that early interception to give the Buckeyes offense plus field plus field position there to start their first drive.
It's hard to find a guy in that secondary to pick on. Difficult to find a matchup you can really exploit. Dedrick Mills, he's had some fumble problems, 3 in the first 4 games. In fact, he was toting the rock around campus to classroom, hoping to deal with that. That's a short first down gain.
And Nebraska just trying to come up with some different wrinkles, different looks, anything that they can come up with that shows up at the press conference. Like,
yeah, carrying the ball. Lost another one last week. He's laughing. That's embarrassing to that around campus.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll work for him.
Fumbles have been a problem for this Nebraska offense. Martinez has been hit a couple times. It's a high snap, slings it in the flat, and Mills shows his acceleration. And he's a more powerful back than Washington. Maybe lacks that top-end gear, but he can make you miss, too.
Does a nice job with some blocks out in front of him. Austin Allen, the big tight end, does a good job. Mike Williams, the senior, also. It's an extension of their running game. Just get the ball, flip it out there. You got hats on hats, and you let your skill guy make a play.
In the fullback position, it's Mills carrying a different look, kind of an I formation with Robinson back there. They caught him napping.
Where's Tommy Frazier? This is Scott Frost, Nebraska, under center, quick hitter with Dedrick Mills almost acting as, instead of a running back, more the fullback, old school Joel Makovicka.
I was hoping you'd say his name.
Yeah, man. Scott Frost reaching way back with these different looks.
He said he would show some things they have not shown on tape to try to trick this Ohio State defense. And now Robinson hurdles a man in traffic and picks up 6 more.
Just so you understand the game, when you're playing a team with this kind of talent, you gotta come up with some creativity. Give them looks to make the helmets in silver look over the sidelines like, guys, we didn't look at this all week. What do we do here when they get under center? So that's what you talk about with giving them wrinkles, making them think, and trying to slow down that athletic defense.
High snap again. Washington corrals it. That's been a problem for the center, Cameron Jurgens, who's athletic. He's a converted tight end. He's got a big future, but so often snaps like that just mess up the timing.
Yeah, he's going to be a superstar, but you're right. When you run this kind of offense, everything is quick. And Martinez, it takes all he has just to get the snap, and now he's trying to make his read, and it's just, when in doubt, you hand it off, and that's what he did there. Sets up this 3rd down.
Injured in camp, didn't have a lot of reps. Again, talented future, but that has been a persistent problem. Now they need 5 on 3rd down. And Martinez rolls out, and he'll get the first down and move the 6 inside the 40.
I mean, this is 1990 Nebraska. That's Scott Frost there running this. That is old school Nebraska, reversing, pivot, coming back to the strong side, and letting Martinez be the athlete that he is and come up with just enough for the first down.
Now they feed the fullback again, and it's Mills barreling to the 25. What are we, 1996?
Just an old school trap here. Trent Hicks in the left guard. Man, these Nebraska fans got to be loving watching this.
They are. They appreciate the drive, but you're exactly right. They're picking up on what they're seeing, and this reminds them of the glory days.
See, we just talked about the different wrinkles makes Ohio State, who's very, very prepared for what they've seen on film after 4 games, say, hey, coach, we've not seen this look. Like, what is this? They're under center? I mean, we didn't go all the way back to 1997 to study this offense. So nice wrinkle here for Scott Frost and this offense.
He knew they tried some different things tonight. He's an up-tempo coach. He's basically been up-tempo every time he's been calling plays, whether it's Oregon or UCF, where they had the biggest one-year offensive turnaround in history, and here at Nebraska as well. But he knows he's got to change up tempo, change up looks tonight.
Well, that and he's down 14. And he needs to keep this crowd believing. He needs to keep his team believing that they can compete. And you get down 14, you dig yourself a hole. You need to try to have something obviously positive happen to get this stadium and get everybody to buy in. And, hey, it's going to happen tonight.
After the defensive timeout, it's a first down play. Martinez from the pocket, looped it over the head, and it's intercepted. Picked off the hands of Robinson, and Okuda's got his 2nd pick tonight down at the 5.
Okuda with his eyes goes down, actually slips. He's covering J.D. Spielman downfield. The ball sails, goes up into the air, and Robinson makes a great effort, but his tip puts it, you see Okuda laying there, and the awareness to come up with that interception. Unbelievable. And a good job of coming off of Spielman by Akuta just in case there is that tip ball or the ball goes in the air and makes the play.
Promising drive ends with a pick. The second for Martinez. Little too much adrenaline. Sailed it over the head of Robinson and Akuta. These picks are coming in bunches. That's 3 in the last 2 games. Didn't have one in his career before that.
That's right.
Ohio State now backed up at the 4. Dobbins running left and is hammered hard.
One of the reasons that ball sailed, Jonathan Cooper back in the lineup is on the far right over here. Watch him push into the backfield, and it doesn't allow the right tackle, Farniak, to be able to kind of hold him back. And eventually Martinez can't follow through, and that's what made the ball float in the air. So give an assist there to Jonathan Cooper with a great play.
That's a good spot, Kirk. Lots of ways to affect the quarterback. Doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but creates the second takeaway. 2nd and 6. Dobbins, can he get the edge? Yes, he can. And out across the 25. Texan running well tonight.
Well, you better be able to set the edge. Great blocking by the receivers. Look at this. Garrett Wilson, a true freshman, does a good job on the safety. Taylor Britt. You also see Austin Mack working downfield. You know, Brian Hartline insists that these guys block. If you want to catch the ball and get your opportunities, you got to be willing to block. And that's exactly what they did there to open up even more of a running lane for Dobbins.
On play action, Fields zips it downfield. Austin Mack catches it. Couldn't keep his feet. Just overled by a fraction. It's a first down inside the 40.
And you see this Nebraska team living on the edge. Jackson, no chance there on the double move. A little stutter, a little out and go. He falls for it. He comes up. There's no safety behind. And Nebraska catches a break that Mack's not able to hold on to that and keep his balance and take that into the end zone.
38-yard gain, by far the longest catch of the season for the senior Austin Mack. Monster first quarter for Ohio State players wearing number 1. Akuta has a couple of picks. Fields looks sharp, and the Buckeyes threatening again. 14-0. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Buckeyes off and running. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. Beginning the second quarter, threatening again to add to a 14-0 lead, scoring on both of their first quarter possessions. Take it to Dobbins. Fields is flushed and cannot escape, but still falls forward for 4 yards. Carlos Davis knocked him down.
And what this defense is facing, make sure Justin Fields gets up okay, but what this defense is facing is Dobbins' ability to run with this offensive line makes you have to respect that, right? That's where you start. That means the safeties and the linebackers have to be keyed into that. When you get too keyed into that, then you got to worry about the big play threats downfield. So it's a balancing act as a defensive coordinator. Where do you cheat to try to stop this offense?
2nd and 7, run by Dobbins, who works his way inside the 30, stretches right near the marker. It'll be just short. Khalil Davis, another bookend brother from Blue Springs, Missouri. 5 minutes younger than Carlos.
Can relate. It's big.
Not to the 300-pound part.
No, but having twins, having identical twins, it's a big thing. A couple minutes older, you're the older brother.
Need a yard. 3 for 3 on third so far. Dobbins slams straight ahead, and they'll move the sticks to the 26.
What a battle tonight at the line of scrimmage. We just talked about the Davis twins, the size. You had Darian Daniels, 340 pounds. Get a good sideline look at this. Watch that battle on 3rd and short. Nebraska doing everything they can to win at the point of attack. I'm going to tell you something, though. After watching the first 4 games in tonight, I don't know if Ohio State's had an offensive line like this in a long time. These guys are athletic, and they're getting a push. And we're going to talk a lot about Fields and Dobbins and all the skill. But those boys up front are getting after it.
You mentioned 4 new starters, a couple of sophomores in there too. Josh Myers and Wyatt Davis, the center and the right guard. Good conversation with Wyatt Davis. He's very excited about this group. Knows there's more work to be done, but they've been tough and physical through the first 4 games. 14-zip Ohio State inside that beautiful building. Check out the Target Command Center coverage of tonight's game, streaming live on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. Ohio State with Ryan Day calling the plays, threatening to add to this lead. 165 total yards already. Fields, design, run, dives for 3 on first down. Mike Yursich hired as Day's first hire for becoming head coach. Came over from Oklahoma State, not to call the plays, but to join Kevin Wilson on this staff. A lot of good offensive minds over here in this club.
Yeah, Ryan Day put together made a few adjustments and tweaks to this offense, but mainly the defensive coordinators, the big changes that he made, but the infrastructure for the most part the same with the Buckeyes for the last few years.
Robbins strung out, bounces off a tackler, but is knocked out of bounds by DiCaprio Boodle, one of my favorite names in college football. Named for Leo DiCaprio. His parents are big Titanic fans.
He made a good play that time. Nebraska, when they've slowed Ohio State down, they've rolled the dice, gotten some penetration. Darian Daniels, 79, the senior, we mentioned him from Oklahoma State, also winning and being able to get penetration.
This crowd urging the Husker defense to make a play here. Feel like they've got to hold Ohio State to a field goal. On third down, Field zips it across the middle. It's a first and goal. Hill still fighting and stretching inside the 5 before Cam Taylor-Britt stopped him.
So Nebraska shows blitz, right? They walk up Miller, but he's actually just a spy, which means the open is wide open. So you can't have a spy and take away that quick slant. So Field sees that immediately, does a nice job leading him into that open area, and gives Hill, who's having a big night tonight, a chance to run after the catch.
Quarterback having a big night. Such clarity of thought by this young guy on the road. First and goal. Dobbins is going to be knocked down right there. Damian Daniels, Darian's younger brother, stopped him. He says, I love road games. I love the idea of going on the road, silencing a hostile crowd. Doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
Right.
Outside of high school.
Going back to his high school. Yeah. I think all great ones, they like the challenge. They like being doubted or questioned.
He's been up to it tonight. This time sidesteps a man in the backfield and finally dragged down by the linebacker, Caleb Tanner, for the Huskers' first sack tonight.
Tanner works through Dobbins, and he does a good job of not only containing, but then being able to chase down the athletic Justin Fields. See how he works through Dobbins, knocks him off. He's trying to run a route, and then shows you his range. Very athletic, 6'2", about 200 pounds. Doesn't have great size, but makes up for it for speed. That time got in there, disrupted the play.
One Georgian tackling another Georgian. Whiffed the first time, but recovered to make the play. And another third down, third and goal from outside the 10. Play clock winding down, 4-3. They just snap it. Fields has time from the pocket. Now looking for space, scrambling, and will be knocked down short at the 6-yard line by Carlos Davis, and they do force apparently a short field goal attempt.
Yeah, and Nebraska not bringing pressure, just kind of sitting out there waiting. They took every option that Justin Fields had. The offensive line actually does an amazing job of keeping those 4 out, keeping him, giving him a chance to potentially scramble. But Nebraska's defense taking the receivers the difference there on that play.
Hallbill's only attempted now 3 field goals this season. Usually it's kicking PATs. He's made 31 of those. Ohio State, 17 points from its first 3 possessions, and they stretch the lead. LeBron James, big Ohio State fan, tweeting out about the secondary. Buckeyes.
Yeah, cornerback and he's right. If you think about not just this year's team, but over the years, Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, Bradley Roby, Garyon Conley, Eli Apple. That's since 2014. They've had a ton of defensive backs. Go to Malcolm Jenkins, who actually went out as a corner, plays safety now. They have definitely had as many as anybody in the country.
Robinson makes the fair catch. Kendall Sheffield, the speedy corner, came out after his junior year with the Falcons now. But the beat goes on. We will see this Ohio State team at home next Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern here on ABC, as Michigan State, which survived the upset trap against a very pesky Indiana team. It was a back-and-forth game, and to kick a late field goal to get out of there with a W. I have a hands full against Ohio State next Saturday.
Yeah, they will. They're going to have to hope that their defense has a big night. Obviously, Ohio State's offense is executing at a very, very high level. At least Brian Lewerke and the Spartans offense playing better the last few weeks.
Another snap that forces Martinez to adjust to it, and the pass is broken up beautifully by Shaun Wade.
6'1", 194 pounds, can play anywhere. Will be an NFL corner. LeBron will love that. But right now is asked to play inside a little bit more. Love how he has his eyes on the ball, able to extend himself with that length and knock that ball away.
Tried to get the ball to J.T. Spielman. That's the first time J.D.'s been targeted tonight. Their top receiver coming in. Martinez from the pocket launches a high throw, and that's a diving pick by Jordan Fuller. That's the hat trick of picks for the secondary. That was just a wild throw.
And an offense that had 4 turnovers last week. The first thing Scott Frost said when he came in to meet with us is we've got to take care of the football. We cannot be careless with the ball. 3 interceptions in the first half. Defensive backs, again, playing a lot more zone. And the reason that's important, I'm going to continue to say that, is it gets everybody's eyes on the quarterback and on the football. So when there is a ball and a miscommunication like that, you're able to make a play on it. Jordan Fuller able to see that, playing center field, jumps it and makes a play, gives this Ohio State offense the ball right at midfield.
Talked about the points off turnovers, such a strong suit for Ohio State. They've only allowed 3, massive differential, just building on that tonight, as once again after a pick they take over right at midfield.
Sudden change. Do you go for a big shot here right away?
Redshirt freshman Master Teague, a highly touted back, is in there, but Fields keeps it, and he has plenty of territory. Little stutter step, and Fields will be dragged down inside the 10 by Dismuke. The total skill set on display, and there's a flag there too, where he was stopped. See if it's a horse collar.
Yeah, what incredible performance tonight by Justin Fields and this offensive line. Wait till you see the hole that opens up on this play.
I saw it.
I mean,
yeah, they're going to add, I think. They're talking about a horse collar is what the issue is here on the tackle.
Look at the linebackers attacking.
There's no foul on the play for a horse collar tackle. The ball be placed at the 10-yard line, first down and goal.
Linebackers out of position, anticipating the handoff to Teague, and Justin Fields reads that and feels that, and then takes off downfield. And this, I think, was what they're looking at to see if that might have been a horse collar, and they wave it off.
40-yard gain. Buckeyes threatening to make this a TKO early in the second quarter. Teague knocked down after a 1-yard gain. Fields throwing the ball, Kirk. 6 of 7, 81 yards as a touchdown pass to Hill. Running it 7 for 73. That's a pretty nice average.
Yeah, and again, he's the beneficiary tonight. He's playing well, but he's the beneficiary of a great plan from Ryan Day, great line play, and great talent around him. But he's playing at a very, very high level, running and throwing.
Teague breaks a tackle and scores standing up, and the Buckeyes are pouring it on in this sea of red, which has gone quiet.
Well, Ohio State has turned to Master Teague to be the man that spells J.K. Dobbins, and he runs through an arm tackle, but at the offensive line does just such a good job play side of cleaning that out, giving him a chance to be able to just run right through that arm tackle. The guy that's trying to make the play is in the middle of trying to just hold on for dear life because of the way he's getting blocked by the line up front.
There were plenty of people here that thought Ohio State was not the team to beat in the Big Ten East.
I don't know.
What are the teams to beat in the country?
Oh, without a doubt.
NFL Week 4 kicks off with Sunday NFL Countdown. Randy Moss is going to show all the guys who got mossed today's college games, plus the story of how Minshew Mania has gone from the Palouse to the Jacksonville Jaguars tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. And Monday, the 50th season of Monday Night Football continues. Your Bengals take on the Steelers. It's the 100th meeting between the two teams. Countdown at 6 Eastern Time. Robinson will leave it right there.
You know, defending this Ohio State team is not just their talent, it's the scheme, the formations. 2 tight ends, 1 tight end with a back, trips with a shotgun formation. They're spreading you all over the field with 5 receivers. And then at times, like I said, you got to deal with being under center. So when you're getting ready to play on a Saturday night, it's what you're able to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get ready for all of this plan that makes it so challenging to deal with what Ryan Day has to work with in 2019.
They can relax a little bit. You could just feel the tension all week. And last night talking to him, the weight of expectation here is just enormous. But no Buckeye fan would quibble about anything they've seen so far tonight. To Maria Taylor.
Well, Chris, you know, this Nebraska offense right now reeling a little bit, but it's very calm from Adrian Martinez and Scott Frost. Coach Frost telling us that he never yells at his players. You could see him taking Adrian Martinez after the 3rd interception, just tell him that he's okay and to stay in it. And Adrian kind of holding that same kind of calm and trying to get his confidence back on the sideline with his teammates.
Maria, as you know, Frost playing for Tom Osborne and for Bill Walsh in college. 2 very calm guys. But before that, he played for Larry and Carol Frost. His dad is high school coach, a legend Hall of Famer. His mom was also a high school coach for about 3 decades. And they were very calm as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory that he has about trying to get his players to play with desire to excel and not a fear of failure. And I think that's a great approach. And I think players today especially respond to that approach.
But too many mistakes in the early going, and now it's 3rd and long again. Martinez escapes Young briefly, and now is going to be hammered to the ground by Malik Harrison, and that sack will force the punt team out again.
Okay, I mean, watch Chase Young. You knew it was coming, and there's nothing you can do about it on 3rd down. And this is just not a Nebraska thing. This will be anybody that Ohio State plays. And Chris, you made a point about how it's not always about the sack. It's about affecting the quarterback, making him come off of his spot and allowing Malik Harrison then to come up with a sack. But Chase Young, again, having a dominant night.
You pointed out he's an NFL-ready guy. He's a Sunday pass rusher playing on Saturday. The combination of enormous talent, work ethic, dedication. He's got technique. It really is the whole package. And finally, as you pointed out,
false start, kicking team number 36, 5-yard penalty.
Not dealing with 2 sprained ankles, which he still played well last year with those ankles.
Yeah, I remember talking to him at the Rose Bowl and just getting caught up and talking about the year that he had. And he said, man, I've been playing with basically 2 sprained ankles most of this year. It's nice to get this rest and be healthy. And you saw late in the year he played better. But now, after an entire offseason, 6'5", 265, one of the hardest working guys on the team. And as you said, he's improved with Larry Johnson, the D-line coach. Much better, more complete DN this year.
And the kind of get off, as they say, that you cannot coach.
Hands. There's the best D-line coach in the country.
Fair catch. Buckeyes back to work from the 45. That's symbolic, Cass. The old bully got knocked sideways there. And Auburn, like Ohio State, not considered a top 5 team preseason, but playing like one.
Yeah, that defense is top 2. And the young offense just getting better each week.
Play action. Fields looks back this way and flips it short to Teague, and the running back slips a tackle and darts down the sidelines. Buckeyes threatening again inside the Nebraska 30.
They always want to get their skill in space. And, you know, Master Teague is out of Nashville, a young man that last year worked through some things, and I think shows that he can become that tandem to J.K. Dobbins, obviously the guy, but in the past couple years they've had Mike Weber and Dobbins, so you need that other guy, and Teague is definitely a physical runner, that time showing some nice moves down that sideline.
And now Nothing but open space. Teague just rumbling and diving down near the goal line. He'll be just short.
Wow. Again, with everything that Ohio State's doing, watch the linebacker play here. They're worried about Fields. Where's Fields? He's out here. I mean, they're taking themselves out of the play because of the concern of the mobility and athletic playmaking ability of Justin Fields, and nobody's there.
Teague rolling right up to the progressive pylon cam and now playing fast. Just a stand-up touchdown for Teague. That was his possession. 28 yards of the catch, 26-yard run, and he takes it into the end zone. 55 yards in 3 plays. And a murmur and all the positivity, the energy in this place has completely evaporated as Ohio State is putting them on this team. This is shades of their last visit here in 2017. Touchdowns in their first 8 possessions in that game.
Yeah, and they are not letting up. These Nebraska fans are in awe and in shock of what they're seeing from Ohio State.
And maybe from their own team, because this is a rude reality check. They needed breaks. They needed to play clean. Instead, 3 turnovers.
Yeah, you said Master Teague has had an opportunity here. He catches one, a couple runs. And look at the line play again. It's one thing to be a nice back with some talent. First thing he should do after he goes into the end zone is turn right around and go hug every one of those offensive linemen. I mean, the line, to me, along with the scheme, deserves a lot of credit for what they've been able to do tonight.
Time to stop and reflect on what we're seeing here, because Ohio State walked in here clearly the favorite, but this was going to be a test for them, supposedly. Instead, they are performing like a team that if you took away all the preseason preconceptions, you guys talked about this on game day, Ohio State is right there with anybody. I don't care if it's Bama or Clemson or anybody.
We had a question that was that. If you didn't take, you basically came from outer space, didn't know anything about any of these teams, and you watched, this is before tonight, watch the first 4 weeks of the season, who would you say is the top team in the country? And it was a consensus with Desmond, Howard, and David Pollack and myself, all 3 of us, without talking to each other, all said Ohio State. And I think they've just been the most complete team, offense, defense, special teams, and they're showing it again tonight. Hey,
Kirk, this would seem like a good time to change the pace here. Let's bring in the Bear from his den for the Affleck trivia question tonight. What do you have, Mr. Felique? Is it a route-based question?
I was going to say I don't feel good about piling on here, but tonight's Affleck trivia question has to deal with Nebraska's struggles against top 10 teams. Going back to the 2002 Rose Bowl loss to Miami, the Huskers are 3-23 against top 10 teams. However, I want to know, since 2002, which team has the most losses against top 10 teams without a win?
Give us a second. Play action, Martinez. Little hesitation, and now he'll take off and dive for 4. Is that enough time? Are we surrendering?
I'm going to surrender, Bear.
Well, it's a team you're quite familiar with. Tonight's Affleck trivia question. The answer is Indiana. The Hoosiers have lost 26 straight against top 10 teams, and actually it's 40 straight if you go back to 1987 when they beat a top 10 team, Ohio State, to shoe.
And there's Martinez darting for yardage that'll put him a yard short of the marker.
And the thing he didn't talk about is probably in a lot of those losses for Indiana, they always seem to be competitive like today, only to come up a little bit short. Battled in East Lansing today.
And Nebraska 1 of 4 on 3rd down, just desperate to get something going to stop the bleeding here.
I thought we might see more of this, slow pace, try to give different looks, try to confuse Ohio State.
Robinson on the jet sweep. They're ready for it. They slam him to the ground. That was Baron Browning, a backup linebacker, and Robert Landers.
And I think Baron Browning has been playing at a different level. You see these linebackers right away. Empty. They see jet motion downhill right now. There's no hesitation. That is doing your work during the week, simplifying the plan, and letting great athletes like Baron Browning turn them loose and let them play and let them trust their eyes.
3rd and final. Charge team timeout. Ohio State. 1 minute.
So the Buckeyes will get the football back. They have scored in all their possessions, and it got going early. This is Akuda, just a tremendous athletic play, diving in front for his 2nd pick of the season. Then over the head, and an incredible, he just laying on the ground makes the pick. And then Fuller gets in on the act here. This was a errant throw, big time.
And Fuller, new role this year, playing in the middle of the secondary. Just the Ohio State last year played with a lot of split safeties where they were playing a very different look, a lot of man-to-man, a lot of quarters coverage. Now they play predominantly cover 3 and man-free, but Fuller sits in the middle and gets a chance to make a lot of plays like that.
You saw the comparison to that 2017 game. Ohio State scored touchdowns on its first 8 possessions. That night it was the most points ever allowed by Nebraska against a conference opponent. Garrett Wilson, talented young receiver for Ohio State, takes his turn as the punt returner. Armstrong gets a high boot. They crowd him a bit, and he backs up and makes the first down, or fair catch. This is Ryan Day signaling for the timeout. Does so with aggression. Shows the quickness that he had as a quarterback at New Hampshire under Chip Kelly. It's one of those guys that just, outworked, outfought everybody. In high school, he was a catcher in the baseball team, point guard in the basketball team, of course, the quarterback and a captain of all those teams. And right away impressed Chip Kelly when he played under him at New Hampshire.
Yeah, and I think he has a lot of the mannerisms that you see from Chip Kelly as far as how, he's up 31-0. You just saw him rally the troops as if he's down 31-0 before he sent them out to go back on the field with 4:02 to go.
Dobbins hitting the backfield, but spins free. Look out. Ooh, just stopped there. Would have been a massive game if Dismuke hadn't gotten him. Good visit with Chip Kelly last night as Bruins huff a big win. Come back from behind last weekend, playing in Tucson tonight. But Day was his quarterback. And of course, Scott Frost was the offensive coordinator under Kelly. He was coaching on the defensive side when Chip hired him from Northern Iowa. 8 years at Oregon, laying the foundation. Kelly also was a head coach. Eric Shenander was a defensive assistant. Jeff Hafley, the Buckeyes defensive coordinator, also a defensive assistant under Kelly, who's all over the place in this game tonight. Dobbins, another first down.
He sure is. And obviously, you look at any head coaches that have been around for a long time. They've got assistants that eventually get opportunities. But like I said, along the way, Ryan Day picked up a lot of different things from different folks. But he'll be the first one to tell you that playing for Chip and then coaching with him, he picked up a lot of the instincts and mannerisms and just approach to the job from Chip Kelly. This Nebraska defense is not only outmanned, but at this point down 31, really getting tested mentally to keep fighting.
Dobbins bounces free again, gets the corner, and is dragged down at the 30. Good block again by Olave on the edge. Just massive chunks almost every snap.
Watch the left guard and the left tackle, 75 and 73. Worked this double team. That kind of sets it. Nice block by the tight end as well, Farrell. And then he gets to the next level where you have Olave and the receivers. So everything working for Ohio State. The initial point of contact, gets the double team, gets to the second level where the receivers are blocking as well.
Now first down, play action. Fields takes a shot downfield. Jump ball incomplete. Garrett Wilson intended, and Lamar Jackson, long arm corner, broke it up.
And Lamar Jackson, 6'3", 215, out there against the fleet-footed Garrett Wilson, who has got a huge upside as a true freshman. And he's in phase there, gives him a chance to make the play. I really am impressed with the lower half of Justin Fields. It's where I think he gets all his power and his arm strength is his core, and that his torque that he's able to throw that football with. It makes it look effortless when the ball comes out of his hands.
Looking to throw again. Zips a crossing route to Hill, is going to be dragged down after a 4-yard gain. Good open field tackle by Doman. Third down coming up.
This will be the one play that Justin Fields just didn't quite see it. Is he has Dobbins coming out on a wheel route, and he just doesn't see it matched up one-on-one with Honus. See him sliding down. There's nobody there. Instead, he checks it down to K.J. Hill, but he had a touchdown there.
Little confusion there. Hesitation in the backfield. Doesn't matter. He still just makes first down yardage inside the 20.
Boy, Thayer Munford doing an Orlando Pace impersonation on that last
Wow, that's
play.
high praise.
I mean, he's 10 yards downfield, just pushing red jerseys backwards.
Fields fires to the end zone. Mack dives. Caught it for a touchdown. Buckeyes can do no wrong. And this is a beatdown. You beat Boodle It was covering well, but the throw was right there.
Good for Austin Mack, who's had to wait his turn as an Ohio State receiver with so much talent. He goes up, good placement of the football, but great concentration and high pointing the ball and out fighting Boodle as they go down to get that possession and get the touchdown.
First of the year for Mack. 16 different Buckeyes have caught passes. They have spread the ball all over the place. Incredibly difficult to defend. This depth of playmakers, and when throws like that, blocking like this, ouch.
Do you just kind of sense that the rest of the Big Ten and the rest of the country are watching this team just saying, uh-oh?
Especially the Big Ten.
Uh-oh.
East Lansing, they might be saying that.
I mean, my gosh. Can they do anything else? Great pass protection, nice placement. As I said, he had to work back a little bit for the football, but Justin Fields feeling it tonight. 9 of 11, 132 yards. This is more of a touch, an area that he continues to work and continues to improve to become elite, but that was an outstanding effort by Austin Mack at 6'2" and 215 to go up and take that ball away.
Fields has thrown for 2, run for 1, and the first half dominance continues. Just check out that line. 252, 36.
That doesn't include the 3 turnovers.
Nebraska with 73 total yards on their 25 plays, under 3 yards per play. Tom Robinson's going to take it out, trying to make something happen on special teams, but coverage team corrals him, knocks him out short of the 20. Dish halftime report. Kevin Negandhi, Mark Sanchez, Jonathan Vilma. Get you updated on what happened this afternoon and get their take on this incredible, dominant first half by Ohio State. And you wonder what Scott Frost, who's not a screamer at all, will say to his group. We came out here wanting to freewheel. They thought they had a puncher's chance, play fearless, challenge Ohio State.
Chris, now it's about fighting. You know, you want to see who wants to fight. Still building this program. And you want to see the film, the eye in the sky is not going to lie. He's going to see effort. He's going to see who, at this point, down 38, is willing to continue to fight. Because that's the culture he's trying to create here.
They do have the 3 timeouts. A long way to go as they try to dent the scoreboard. Fumble. Martinez had the ball knocked out of his hand by Chase Young. He's made an impact tonight.
You know, and that's what he's doing. You know, it's not just getting to the quarterback. It's an awareness of knowing where the football is. And if he's not going for sacks, he's going for the football. We've seen him do that this year a lot. When he gets to the backfield, his eyes immediately looks for the football, gets his hand on it intentionally, and knocks it loose from the quarterback.
Tried to get it to Washington, kind of zipped it sidearm and then just bounced off the running back's hands, and absolutely nothing going right. Hey, Ohio State's got 40 seconds to work with. Maybe thinking about adding to the lead before
You never
halftime.
know. You never know. How about on that play, instead of getting to the quarterback, Young kind of has the instincts of a linebacker, senses draw and just stops immediately, tries to get a hand on the ball, and if he can't knock it down, he would have been there to make a tackle. And he's just at a different level.
There's a lot of guys playing at a different level tonight for Ohio State. Armstrong's boot is again low, a little ugly, and it'll be grabbed at the 48-yard line. Ohio State has spent all timeouts, but has 32 seconds if Ryan Day feels like taking a downfield shot and going for more here. They'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, just by the way. Not the way Martinez envisioned it.
No. Obviously, Scott Frost knew that they were up against an incredibly talented team tonight, but you always are optimistic as a head coach, playing at home. You got a quarterback that last year had a good game against this Ohio State team, but the biggest thing that they needed to have happen did not happen, and that was a fast start.
Day is 40. You got other young guys on the staff. Jeff Hafley brought in Code DC at age 40, but they got the old teachers. You saw Larry Johnson there. You talked about the finest defensive line coach in the country. A good mix of veterans and young minds on this staff, and they are thinking about more. It's a low throw broken up, trying to get the ball to Olave, and Lamar Jackson dove across.
I mean, I told you that Ryan Day kind of has a Chip Kelly approach mentality. I mean, you're up 38-0, and there's Greg Madison, who came over from Michigan, co-defensive coordinator, along with Jeff Hafley, who came over from the 49ers. But yeah, that Chip Kelly approach, just keep fighting, keep looking to attack.
And they're still looking to attack through the air. Fields launches it downfield. Olave lays out, but he can't quite get it in the end zone. Tremendous deep ball accuracy from Fields. Haven't really had the need to take too many downfield shots tonight.
No, but Olave gets behind coverage, just a little bit more air. He's leaving these guys behind, and just off the fingertips. Great route runner. Came on late last year with that talented group that Ohio State had the big game against Michigan. And now with the older players moving on to the NFL, he's become really one of the leaders of this team, and really a great route runner.
Couple touchdowns against Michigan in that game. Also blocked the punt to really emerge as a star. Fields is flushed, chased, still alive, and now flings it downfield, and it's caught by the tight end, Luke Farrell. Okay. He's hard to get to the ground.
All right. That's supposed to be against the rules. I mean, are you kidding me? Scrambles, keeps it alive, and then throws back against his body?
What were you saying about core strength?
He showed everything there.
Clocks the ball. 2 seconds to go. They just got up there. They had no timeout, so they had to try to get up there fast to stop the clock.
Look again, 6'1" or 6'3", 235, and watch him work out of that, and then this, and then be able to find the tight end Farrell and throw back against his body. That's supposed to be a no-no, and he's able to throw it accurately. I mean, you might see that in high school from an elite player, but not in college.
They're going to cap this half with a Hail Mary. Fields, final play of the half. A flag is down. He just flips it out of bounds. Now another flag comes in late. There's Ohio State playing an almost flawless first half. Just one penalty before this.
Holding offense number 75.
That'll be a runoff. And that'll be the end of the half.
That is the end of the first half.
Mercifully for the Cornhuskers. Wow. Pretty breathtaking, complete, dominant performance by the Scarlet and Gray tonight in Lincoln, especially their quarterback. Kevin, Mark, and Jonathan coming up right after these messages with the halftime report. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit and Maria Taylor. 38-0. Ohio State in a sea of red has gone silent. A resounding statement made by Ohio State about how good they are and how big the gap is between these two programs at the moment.
Yeah, you put 38 points up on the board, everything working. Justin Fields in such command. We wondered how he would perform on the road in this environment. And from just the very beginning, the opening series, you can see he's dialed in and making plays.
Mario McCall takes the kick out near the 25, and here is the Pacific Life game summary. And two facets to the domination. Ohio State has just jumped on him with the 3 turnovers. Twice Ohio State has taken over at midfield, and this was their one good drive. They threatened. Akuda came up with his second pick on the overthrow.
Yeah, the turnovers were one thing, but Justin Fields, 10 of 15 to 148 yards. His legs, such a difference. 80 yards, 3 touchdowns total, and just really feeling good right now with answers to what Nebraska's tried to do in the first half defensively.
A sobering 30 minutes of football for the 89,759 who were packing the stadium tonight. Fields begins the second half with a pitch to Olave. He moved the sticks yet again. 21st first down.
Yeah,
wow.
With the arm strength right hash to the sideline, soft cushion, take it. This is first half, the last couple games, what they've been able to do. It's not like they ease themselves in. They will come out ready to play.
Miami of Ohio had them down 5-0, and then they reeled off a bunch of points. So now it's 114 unanswered points by this Ohio State team since that early deficit.
The good thing for Ryan Day is he came into this year with, I think, a very hungry football team. a team that took it personally, took offense to the notion that how's Ohio State going to be without Urban Meyer? How's Ohio State going to be without Dwayne Haskins and those great receivers? And I think this team collectively took that as a personal challenge. They play with an edge to them.
Fields rolls out. Olave comes back and makes the catch. As you pointed out, Fields arrives here surrounded by terrific talent at all positions, but he has kind of gotten Ohio State's offense back to what they were before Haskins, who was such an accurate thrower, but not a very enthusiastic runner.
No. I mean, his skill set opens up the playbook. I mean, Dwayne Haskins was one of it, once in a generation type of passer with his accuracy and his ability to read coverage. This is a very different offense.
Dobbins gets loose again. You pointed out in the second quarter, this is going to be a test of Nebraska's will. Do you sense that has eroded and is caved in?
I know Scott Frost pretty well on a personal level, and I think he went into that locker room 38-0. What's he going to say? You know what he's going to say is, guys, who wants to fight? I mean, this is week 5. We're building this year. We still have a lot of games to play. I want to see who wants to compete.
Benjamin Victor is running free, and Fields, why not? Just drops a dime in there at the 12-yard line. They involve the rangy receiver for the first time tonight.
Again, moving the pocket and doing a good job of getting plenty of time. This is one of those plays it takes time to develop, and instead of sitting in the pocket, they roll him out, and they get Benjamin Victor involved, where he's able to pick on the safety, Taylor Britt, but a long developing play there.
Long gaining play of 27. Sets him up. Quarterback keeper all the way, and Fields just going to duck down. That time is penetration by Khalil Davis and Darian Daniels.
Yeah, that was actually a misread by Justin Fields. He's reading Khalil.
He made a mistake?
Yeah. One of his only or few of the night. Khalil Davis actually took him on the zone read. They're reading the inside man there. And he should have handed that football off to J.K. Dobbins.
In case you're wondering, 0 throttling back from Ryan Day to begin the third quarter. It's a 2nd and 12 run by Dobbins. Short gain. Barry stopped him. Third down coming up.
Again, this is the versatility. You're a defensive coordinator. You got Justin Fields back there, and you're thinking, okay, we got him in 3rd and long. He's going to throw, but is he going to throw from the pocket? Is he going to roll out? Who do I got to worry about trying to bracket or take out, because they've got so many different receivers, and Benjamin Victor up at the top is a guy that can one-on-one as well.
Buckeyes 7 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. By the way, the average yard to make on 3rd down is 6. Hadn't mattered. Fields from the pocket, pressured, and he will be sacked. Finally, it took a while for Khalil Davis to get him to the ground. But the Nebraska defense does show some fight on that series.
They sure did. Khalil Davis finally able to get there. You see him right here. He'll work and work, and then finally he frees up, and he's able to work through and penetrate through that offensive line. Good coverage downfield is what eventually allowed Davis to get home.
Albio to add to the point total. This is from 36. Made just 1 field goal in the first 4 games. They didn't have to try many. Has made 2 tonight. That's a huge win for the Nebraska defense. 41-0. A powerful moment that touched people all around the world came in Nebraska's spring game 6 years ago. A then 7-year-old Jack Hoffman had been battling brain cancer, adopted by this team, escorted on a 69-yard touchdown run. And now, 6 years later in junior high school, Jack is living his dream of being able to play football. Visit with the family and Maria Taylor momentarily. Robinson fields this one at the 3. Looks for a crease. Hasn't had a chance to really flash his speed tonight. And there is a flag down on the return. So that's going to back up Nebraska even further. Maria?
Well, Chris, that was a 7-year-old Jack. Now we've got 13-year-old Jack just celebrated a birthday on Thursday, and his father, Andy. Okay, Jack, you again, if you're running and there's the end zone you ran into, what do you remember about that?
I remember everything being numb. I was just so nervous. I didn't know what to think afterwards.
Well, you certainly took the heart of everyone in Nebraska. And, Dad, what has it meant for you? And what has this team done for you and Jack and pediatric cancer?
Well, that run represents so much more than just an amazing opportunity for a little boy. When Jack scored that touchdown, he really scored a touchdown for the leading child cancer cause of death, which is pediatric brain cancer. And this football team, the Nebraska Cornhuskers program, I can't say enough good about. These guys have helped us raise almost $300,000 since that run. It's an amazing football program, and we're just so blessed with amazing support here in Nebraska. And just we've had some great opportunities because of that run to raise awareness nationally for this disease.
Yeah, and Jack, you've been blessed because now you get to play the sport that you love. He's played 2 games so far. You've got your 3rd game coming up on Monday. What's it like to put on the helmet and play center in middle school?
It's really nice. In 2013, I didn't really see football in my future. I never thought that I would actually get to put on actual pads instead of just a flag around my waist.
Well, congratulations on this huge step. Dad, thank you so much for sharing this story yet again. And September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, so we'll certainly be celebrating all month long with what you guys have been able to do. Chris?
Thank you, Maria. He's a big dude. He's a center on his junior high school football team. We saw some tape. He was road grading some defenders.
Yeah, we had him on college game day this morning, and yeah, he was pushing people around.
Still battling cancer, by the way. Has to take a couple dozen pills every day to deal with epileptic seizures. Courageous guy. Nebraska, 3rd and 10. Still trying to get the ball to J.D. Spielman for the first time. They targeted him there on 1st down. And now Martinez escaping, looking for anybody. Flips it to Washington. That was a nice little pitch and catch. He tight-roped it. And let's see where they spot him. Now they're going to move it. It's not 1st down yardage. He stepped out evidently at about the 17.
Yeah, you see that pass rush again. Martinez feeling that rush, and it does look like they're going to spot him short. I wondered if he may have run out of bounds as he was running his route, but he stayed inbounds. Both defensive ends, Ohio State, Cooper and Young, that time flushed him out.
The offense is on the field here from the 17-yard line, down 41. Ross thinking about it. You can tell he doesn't want to send the punt team out. And he'll just let the play clock wind down. They'll have a conversation.
I think he was trying to give the booth maybe upstairs enough time to take a peek to see if they might be able to overturn the spot. But, you know.
The ruling on the field was that the runner was
see that
short of the
right
line to
foot
gain.
after he makes the catch.
That
Does it
plays
come
under
down
further
on
review.
the white, or did you keep it in the field? And it's going to be obscured by Harrison right there. That angle doesn't give us a great look from this side. Let's see. Catch, foot still in bounds there. Left foot in bounds, and then where is the football when he crosses out of bounds? I think they may improve the spot, Kirk, but I think it's still going to be a little bit short.
It's probably be the best look right here. About at the 17, 18, he steps out. There's the ball in his left hand. Got that ball spotted at about the 16 and a half, not quite to the 17. Looks like that'll improve the spot. Those last 2 looks.
I agree it improves the spot.
I don't know if it's going to be enough.
I don't think it's going to quite be enough, so it'll be the decision for Frost. If they are short, you go for it from deep in your own end.
Yeah, he's about, looks like he's about maybe a half yard short.
Nice little acrobatic grab. What's your take on Martinez? He's a guy that made the early mistake. You wonder, can a quarterback shake it off? But the 3 picks clearly putting his team in trouble, and he looks to be mentally affected by the pressure that he's been under.
Yeah, well, he needs help. I mean, it's you can look at the numbers and say what's wrong with Martinez with the 3 interceptions, but you know, I think he's felt the wrath of the Ohio State defense from the very first series, and he's a creator. He tries to make plays when things break down, and that first interception that gave the Ohio State offense great field position was where he felt the pressure and tried to get away from Chase Young and ended up throwing that interception. So obviously been a rough night, but a young man fits perfectly into what Scott Frost is trying to do with this offense.
Jeff Stravinsky, Tom Herbert collaborated and take a long look. Let's see what the verdict is. They have moved the football up to the 19. Fourth down is still on the yard marker at the moment. Haven't made an announcement yet. Still checking that monitor. Don't know if the outcome of the game hinges on this, but they want to get it right.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The ball carrier's foot stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line, and the ball was breaking the 19-yard line, which was the line to gain. First down, Nebraska.
Well,
the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. I'm always amazed how they can look at a replay and change a spot. We all thought it maybe move up about 2 yards, 2.5 yards, but boy, you're splitting hairs there when you're trying to figure out where the spot is.
Well, they had to combine about 3 or 4 different angles because there were things involved there, as you heard Jeff explain. In any case,
Nebraska
series is alive. Robinson is tailback in the I formation. It's an option look. Here's the pitch. Can he get the corner? Yes, he can. More old school Nebraska beat Warner first him out.
Yeah, old school. And speaking of old school, watch Robert Landers, who's back in the lineup. And when you're doing that reverse pivot, turning around and trying to get down the line, the last thing you're worried about is the quickness of a nose guard like Landers, who's, as I said, back in the lineup after missing last week, has good quickness on the inside. Here he comes again.
Oh, my goodness. Warner just popped the ball carrier. You can hear that 12 stories above the field up here.
6'3", 240. A great linebacker, but also athletic. Watch him lower the boom here.
Listen to him. He got sandwiched. Warner hit him from the front, and that knocked Robinson backwards. Boom.
That's Wan'Dale Robinson, a true freshman playing in a game, learning a few things.
Martinez is hit hard, dives forward. That was 3rd and long, and Chase Young wraps up the quarterback, and it's 4th down. Here comes the punt team.
Yeah, you go back to the awareness of Chase Young. Instead of getting upfield on 3rd down, he sees the quarterback taking off on a draw, using his eyes and instincts to make so many plays. This guy stays healthy. I don't know if you're going to find a better defensive player in the country in 2019.
Has a streak of 6 straight games with a sack on the line. Doesn't have one yet, although he's impacted the quarterback a number of times. Armstrong, another low lefty boot, and Wilson did not call a fair catch. Flag is down as he rips off a big return deep into Nebraska territory, but this one's going to come back. Very low kick from the lefty, gave the young returner a chance. But again, flag. It's the 2nd on Ohio State tonight.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 12 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down and 10. Full media timeout.
So penalty on 7 Banks will back the ball into Ohio State territory. Buckeyes back to work, up 0. Got a young T.O. there. Sport coat and tie. Of course, Trussell with the vest. 2 quarterbacks who had very different college careers. Frost, of course, had a high-profile program. 2 of them, actually, Nebraska and Stanford. Talked about Ryan Day, quarterback for Chip Kelly in New Hampshire. His story is actually more typical. It's more common for a less heralded quarterback who had to outthink and outwork people, not do it on talent, to go on to become an elite coach. Frost trying to follow in the Steve Spurrier, a great quarterback who became a championship-winning coach. Dobbins still in the game and still running hard and still breaking free for big chunks of yardage down near the Nebraska 40. Austin Mack taking his turn, making a block on the edge.
Yeah, again, another nice job by that offensive line, opening things up. Looks like somebody may be down behind that. Be the safety.
Might be Dismuke.
Yeah, it looks like. But another big run. Again, offensive line. We cannot say enough good things about the Ohio State offensive line.
Dismuke is being looked at by athletic trainers just off the field of play. Was grimacing, appeared to be in a whole lot of play as a result of the end of this play.
Yeah, he came in late right there. And I don't know if he gets caught up. Hopefully it's nothing
Spun
serious.
landed on his back. Smuka, very important part of this secondary. Big special teams player as well as a starter safety.
Said he really started to buy in spring with this new coaching staff and really became a different guy as far as his commitment.
Looks like he's okay.
See number 8, Deontay Williams, who they lost early this year, and one of the better players in their secondary. That's why they had to move Cam Taylor-Britt from corner to safety, number 5.
Dobbins could have a bigger night than he had against the Huskers a year ago in Columbus. He ran for 163 and 3 touchdowns. Just 7 yards short of that yardage total right now. 21 for 156. Fields, Hill in a crossing route. Picks up about 7 more.
You know, one of the things you might be seeing this year with Ryan Day, and you've seen it over the years, is you'll see the quarterback look over and get the call. The whole skill, all the offense looking over, getting the call. And then at times, not only do they get the call, you'll see they'll do a dummy snap count where he kind of does the fake clap, and then he'll look over to get confirmation or get a change from Ryan Day. This time they go ahead and call it based on the look.
And Dobbins has a crease. And another big gain down to the Nebraska 20.
Again,
relentless.
Good job controlling the defensive line. These guards in the center have done a nice job of getting up to the linebackers. And Dobbins is running downhill a lot tonight.
He's also running through giant holes, and so he's getting speed before they even get a chance to get near him.
Averaging almost 8 yards a carry. Running differently, man. He's a different player. I think Mike it's his job now. I don't think he's trying to look for those big plays every snap.
Fields from the pocket, launches to the end zone. Mack got caught up, no flag. Lamar Jackson was there with him.
It's big on big. Lamar Jackson, a big corner at 6'3", grabbing on maybe a little bit of the jersey, and then unintentional as far as the contact there. Maybe early there was a grab of the jersey and a hold.
He's been an effective corner for this team. Opposing receivers, they've targeted the guy he's covering, just 6 of 18. That's an excellent job in coverage so far this year. Fields keeps it and just kind of glides for more yardage down to the 13.
Just knowing that that's there, that's a gain of 7 or 8 yards, but that's a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare because you have to account for that. And he's not taking a lot of hits because they don't have a lot of experience behind you. So you're trying to put a defense together, and you have to account for that, which opens up other areas to attack for Fields in this offense. There's that dummy look where now he looks over and he's able to, Ryan Day communicates to all the guys in the different color shirts, and then they get the call based on the look that they're seeing from Nebraska.
Dobbins knifes ahead, muscles for another first and goal for Ohio State. Saw a shot of Eric Shenander, defensive coordinator. They've just been on their back heels tonight. Yeah. It's been Ryan Day a step ahead.
Well, it's going to be fun to see Michigan State's defense next week because they're an aggressive downhill playing defense. But when you have to account for the athletic ability and the mobility and power running of Fields, it like I said, it leaves you vulnerable in so many different areas because you have to use a body that you could use somewhere else in coverage now to come down and account for his legs.
First and goal. Dobbins keeps it. Quarterback was hammered after he handed the ball off, and Dobbins got just a couple, but the crowd responding to the big hit on Fields.
Well, on that play, it's an option look. You're carrying out a fake. You're free to be hit. So right here, you know, Nebraska hits Fields, but he's carrying out a fake. So for all JoJo Doman knows, he's got the football. So that's a clean play.
Chance for old JoJo to take out some frustration. Second and goal. Dobbins just short of the 6-yard line. Fields looking left, launches to the end zone. High throw over the shoulder. Garrett Wilson, no signal. Touchdown.
How about that?
What a throw.
Great catch, the true freshman. He goes right into the wall, gets a foot down right there. Actually gets third foot down right into the padding. And you're looking at a superstar in the future in Garrett Wilson, the true freshman out of Austin, Texas. Everybody wanted Garrett Wilson. He decides to come to Ohio State. Nebraska fan. Boy, he got a good look at that one.
Yeah, slammed into the turnbuckle. You can see the official had to turn around and see, did he hold on to the ball? He did. And Ohio State extends the lead. Front row for an ugly mugging, 48-0. They're so poor.
Yeah, the flag down here.
The extra point is good. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 94, that's his first of the ball game. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. Immediate timeout.
So that's Khalil Davis, another frustration flag. Brilliant throw and catch. Fields now 3 touchdown passes to go with his touchdown run. Buckeyes are coming home to the Horseshoe next Saturday night on ABC. We'll be there as the Spartans come calling. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Got the All-State Playoff Predictor coming up after the kickoff. We'll show you the likelihood of the various teams of making the bracket of 4 based on prediction to the outcomes of the remaining games and what the committee has done, their pattern of behavior past years. And there was a change. Clemson was the top team most likely to make the playoff, but their close call with North Carolina has dropped them down. Only a 69% chance, slightly below Alabama. You think Ohio State chances might be coming up after this result is factored in?
I think the All-State Playoff Predictor and who you would rank in the top 4 right now, based on what you've seen, not based on, well, they were number 1 at the beginning or they were number 1 last year, they won the national title, just how teams are executing through 5 weeks of football. You'd be hard-pressed not to put Ohio State at 1. I think Ohio State would be 1, Bama 2, Clemson 3, LSU 4.
Martinez fires low, just inaccurate once again. It's just been a tough night for him mentally and physically.
You know, again, I think it's all about, you get a chance to evaluate teams and watch them and not look at it based on your preseason thoughts. Now you've had over a month to watch teams, kind of see where they are.
And polls are, I guess, fun to talk about. Totally meaningless at this point of the season. Martinez a low throw, and finally they involve J.D. Spielman. He's got an interesting story related, of course, to Ohio State. A big weapon for them this year. Makes the catch and finally gets involved. Once committed to Ohio State's lacrosse team. He and his brother, adopted by Rick Spielman, who's now the Vikings general manager. Chris Spielman's brother. And Chris Spielman was showing Mike Riley, then Nebraska head coach, his highlight tape. And he said, let's sign the kid, get him off the lacrosse team onto football, switch schools. Martinez shows you what he can do with his legs. Shows a burst in the open field. Can they catch him? He finally will fall forward and out of bounds down near the 10. He waited a long time for an explosive play.
Yeah, and Ohio State brings a corner blitz. Now this looks like last year Ohio State. All the man-to-man coverage backs to the quarterback, and you don't even see that the quarterback's free and running. You know, you had a free safety there in Josh Proctor, who didn't take a great angle, but that was more of the style of defense that Ohio State played last year. And Martinez able to elude some pressure early, and then there was nobody left there to pick him up.
56-yard gain. They finally let the quarterback get his pulse rate back down before running this play, and he hands it off to Mills. You tell me, I didn't know if you ran for 56 in your career, but you went for some nice runs. Yeah. I mean, you're still gassed as you get out and call in the next play.
Yeah, but I think, you know, based on the way you prep, look at Ohio State, look at Larry Johnson, defensive line coach. They're starting to put some different players in the game, and they want to keep trying to perform at a very high level.
Want to keep the shutout intact. And that's going to do it as Mills finds the end zone, and Nebraska on the board with 2:07 to play. They have shown some fight after halftime.
Yeah, the big run by Martinez puts them down in scoring position, and this time they're able to capitalize. And you're right, that's what we talked about. What does Scott Frost say to his team when you're down at halftime the way they were by 38 points? He talked to them about fighting and just trying to continue to grow and get better. That's a drive they can try to build something off 5 plays and 75 yards.
Lane McCallum, one of a coterie of kickers they've used this year, knocks it through. They finally got some red balloons in the air, Kirk. They waited a long time. They held on to these red balloons, and now they're in the sky finally.
Little slanting, angling, backfires on Ohio State. Baron Browning actually moving as a linebacker, took himself 5. See how he kind of takes himself. He's following that H-back who is going in motion. And by him vacating that area, Mills, and he hit it downhill for the touchdown.
So much for the home shutout, which hadn't happened here in more than a half a century. I don't know if they're 99 red balloons, but they're flying them. They held on to them for a long time. And Nebraska is on the board. I'll tell you what, a lot of places, the stadium would be empty.
Yeah,
it would be empty at this point, and Nebraska fans, known for their behavior, welcoming visiting teams for the most part, not every time, for the most part over the years, and solidly behind their team, sticking around to show support in this nationally televised game. Now the kickoff is muffed. The ball still on the ground. Jamison Williams taking a turn at kick return and never really got a hold of it. Now there's a scrum. And I think he may have made up for it. Bottom of the pile. Does have the football. And looks like he felt the effects of that hit. There was a flag down, by the way, where it was kicked off.
Looked like Jeremiah Stovall, 24 of Nebraska, got down there and hit him.
Crowd reacting to the hit.
Offside. Kicking team, number 49. Ohio State is elected to have the ball re-kicked after the 5-yard penalty.
See if they change up the returner this time, though.
And actually, Stovall down here at the bottom, who makes the big hit, one of the players that may have gotten an early start. Ohio State incredibly high on 2 true freshman receivers. Garrett Wilson, 5 out of Austin, Texas. And you just saw Jamison Williams, the freshman, 6'2", 170, had an electrifying touchdown late in the game last week against Miami. They're trying to give them chances, but then when you fumble, you get taken out. Demario McCall now goes back to make sure he's able to take this kickoff. A few chances, and then you make a miscue. They're going to take those chances away.
Yep. Put the veteran McCall back there. Hey, there's so many talented guys here at Ohio State. You make a mistake like that, you might just get to the back of the line. You might not see the kickoff return team again, right? I mean,
that's the
competition for playing time.
Beauty of competition and depth that they have. Yep.
McCall will make this return. And another hard hit. Nebraska flying down there in the coverage team and still laying the pads on the returners. Chris Bourbon, Tom Jackson back with NFL Prime Time every Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, exclusively on ESPN+. So go to ESPN+, download the app, go to ESPNplus.com. For Ohio State, starting offense still on the field after the defense gave up first points of the night. It's Teague, who is a third-string tailback, but would start for a lot of people in his freshman year. You know, Fields' previous play before this season on a big stage was one of the worst calls most of us feel you're ever going to see. It's a fake punt in a 28-all game, Georgia against Alabama in the SEC championship game. He really had no chance right there. And Kirby Smart heavily criticized for that. Alabama went down in the game-winning touchdown off of that fake from deep in their own end. And that was it for Fields' career in Georgia.
Yeah, he and Jalen Hurts, the big names in the offseason with the transfers.
There's Teague.
And here's what he's done tonight. This is what future defensive coordinators are going to have to deal with. So many different things he brings to the table. The recognition of man-to-man. Sees that, sees the opening, takes off for a touchdown. Accuracy downfield. Shows that he can throw the football from the pocket. He's been extending plays tonight. How do you defend that when he's that strong and that physical, and then also showing a touch that just gets better every single week with these wide receivers? That went to the freshman Wilson for a touchdown.
This is Teague. He's getting some reps in here. Khalil Davis knocks him down. What's the weakness of this Ohio State team? Have you spotted one?
No, not through the first 4 or 5 weeks. What are you going to say? I mean, what could you possibly say on the offense? The offensive line and the running game, to me, is where this thing starts. Fields just continuing to grow in this offense and the playbook. The pages are being added every week with how they complement the run with the pass. Under center, shotgun, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends the next snap. And the defense with the new leadership on that side of the ball, they're seeing the football running and reacting quick. As I said, they're the most complete team in college football in the first 5 weeks.
520 total yards through 3 quarters. 48-7, Ohio State, end of 3 in Lincoln. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Well, they're down 48-7, but they are on their feet and singing and waving around their cell phone flashlights. Our red burns brighter. This light show after the 3rd quarter here. Great spirit here. It feels like the sport is better when Nebraska is back on top, and they're clearly not there yet. But Scott Frost will still firmly believe, as will many others around here, the program is trending in the right direction regardless of the result here tonight.
Needs a couple more years of recruiting to be able to compete with teams like this.
Fields from the pocket. Took a look downfield. Now he's just going to take off, and it's going to be a sack. And he's wrestled down by Cam Taylor-Britt. And the crowd is responding to what they're seeing from this defense. A little more spirit here.
And they like to see Justin Fields contained. He's had such a big night. And even though they eventually get to him with the safety, Taylor-Britt, that was good coverage downfield. He had nowhere to go with the football. And eventually they were able to get some speed to corral him.
On this 3rd down. Incredibly efficient tonight on 3rd down, and it's a run. They tried to pop Teague quickly through there, but he was tackled by Colin Miller, and it's 4th down.
Some people may be watching and wondering, Ohio State up 48-7 into the 4th quarter. You still see Fields and still see that first unit offense. I think it's early enough in the year where you're still trying to grow and still trying to get reps for guys to try to continue to get better for games down the road.
Well, Drew Crispin did make the trip. Ohio State's punter makes his first appearance tonight. Only his 13th punt of the season. He has not been very busy with this offense moving up and down the field. J.D. Spielman trying to make an impact play as a returner if he can. Very high, deep boot by Crispin, and no chance to return it, and it'll just bounce into the end zone. Nebraska back on offense, down 48-7 after this.
It's the upset, and I love the call by Mac Brown, going for the win, the young team.
Mills breaks free and knocks for about 12. Hindsight is 20/20 as you check out what Clemson did today versus what they had done through the first 4 games. The total's way down. You know, you figure from the 3-yard line, your chances of making it against that Clemson defense,
tough.
Maybe less than 50, but your chance of winning in overtime, probably less than 50% as well. If the analytics were.
I just think, to me, you're playing with house money. With the team he's inherited, they're so used to losing there. You're battling number 1 right the whole game. I mean, they were playing with Clemson. And I don't mind the call. I think it's the right call. I think if you're Clemson, by the way, they've had those days and lost to Syracuse. They've had those days and lost to Pitt, lost to NC State. This time, they survive it, can learn a lot of things, and get back to the film room and keep trying to get better.
Robinson, who scooted for 6 on that last play in the backfield. And stutter step shows his ability to cut on a dime in the open field, avoided the loss and got yardage near the marker. They'll move the 6 at the 41.
As it's given Nebraska's offensive line a chance to give their backs like Robinson a little room to work with. Josh Proctor looks like he has a shoulder that the Ohio State training staff is looking at. He just came into the game.
There's a short completion on the far side there to Austin Allen. Cade Warner, son of Kurt Warner. Scottsdale, a sophomore, has had a fractured foot in camp. He's been out. It's his first action of the season. Good to see him get involved.
Yeah, 6'1", 210 pounds. We saw him play quite a bit last year. Good to see him healthy and getting a chance on the perimeter of this offense.
Martinez flings it. It's complete again and slung down short of first down yardage. Is Kanawai Noah, the grad transfer from Cal, has had a very quiet night. They have not been able to get the receivers loose against this secondary.
The Ohio State's mixed up their coverages and their looks at times. They've been up really tight in press coverage. Other times, as we've talked all night about, playing a lot of zone and giving Martinez a different look. But it's easy to play in that secondary when you have Chase Young and that defensive line getting after the quarterback.
On third down, Martinez keeps it, gets the yardage, and Fuller forces him. It's Ohio State 42 as we check back with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Chris. Time now for one of AT&T's best performances. Number 24, Kansas State in trouble against Oklahoma State. Chuba Hubbard, 84-yard touchdown run, puts the Cowboys up 23-3. You can see this game on Big 12 now on ESPN+. Chris?
Cassidy, thank you. That's an impressive performance by the Pokes at home against the K-State team that's been troubling.
They've been playing well, and Oklahoma State, we had them in Austin, and they're a good football team that's only going to get better, especially on that offensive side of the ball with Spencer Sanders, that redshirt freshman quarterback.
Chuba Hubbard having a night, too. Martinez off the fingertips of Mills that time. Third down.
The other thing Martinez is doing is just going a little faster. They're trying to keep the backups from Ohio State more on their heels and not quite as aggressive as what we saw from the starters of Ohio State. So smart of Scott Frost to pick up the tempo a little bit more here.
There's a run. Figured he's got 2 plays to get the 6 yards. They got just a couple there, so it'll be 4th down and 4.
People evaluating Ohio State nationally. People evaluating Ryan Day nationally. What kind of coach will he be, filling the shoes of Urban Meyer? I said earlier before this season started, there's an internal burning desire to prove people wrong within this team, this coaching staff, and these players, because of the doubt that they feel about them not being able to play at a high level without Urban Meyer.
So Chase Young, some of the starters watching as the backups try to stop Martinez, but he gets loose, and he'll fight for a first down, so they convert on 4th down to the 31.
Good effort there by Martinez, and you know, this game right now at 48-7 is over, but I'd love to see the quarterback fight. You love to see him fight to get that first down. And it took all that he had in a game that hasn't been going really well for him, all that he had with that competitive spirit to get that first down.
Now rolls out and flips it short. Robinson is knocked down after about 8.
How many crowds would you see that they'd be down 48-7, and this is about as discouraging of a loss as this program can probably have imagined when this game started. And yeah, there's still a lot of people in here still encouraging their players. Still
impressive. You see Maryland
really
the other night? Penn State.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Oh, really? It's cool to see that. You don't see that most places in the country.
Like what you said about Ryan Day. We talked about him last year, but Urban Meyer was suspended for the first 3 games. He got a great opportunity to come in. That was his audition. Handled it beautifully. Then Kirky got a chance at the Rose Bowl. We watched them beat Washington, and Urban kind of turned and passed the baton. So his first chance to address this team as the head coach, not the interim head coach, was after a Rose Bowl victory. Imagine that feeling.
Yeah. And that being your first job as a head coach.
No doubt. Mills still running hard, barrels down for a 1st and goal as the Buckeye backups are being run over a bit now.
Martinez still trying to get this offense up. Senses an opportunity here.
Mills again knocked down for 2 in the crowd this tier. And still making some noise, is rewarded with some fight.
I don't know sometimes if fans understand that, you're 48-7, under 8 minutes to go in a game that you're going to lose. But if you, just a little thing by finishing a couple series in a positive way, and you go back to the film room on Sunday and Monday, how that can help you in week 6, in week 7, and week 8. Just by fighting and not giving up, it can really help develop this culture that Scott Frost is trying to cultivate.
Mills right into the teeth, and you can see Ohio State's players determined not to let Nebraska score a second touchdown.
Even though these guys are, some of these players are backups, there's some talented players inside on that Ohio State defensive line.
Togia, the big 300-pounder from Idaho, and on that stop.
Antoine Jackson in there. Tough Borland, the middle linebacker, still out there playing. Of all the positions that Ohio State has a lot of talent, one area that Urban Meyer and now you're seeing with Ryan Day, they really emphasize defensive linemen for Larry Johnson and the wide receivers, the depth and where they recruit and really excel to a different level. Those are the areas.
Keeper on 3rd and 6. He actually tripped over Mills in the backfield, fell forward, no gain. It'll be 4th and goal. Tyler Friday, one of those backups, have clogged things up.
Yeah, the reason he tripped over him is Tough Borland tackled him. Watch 26. Zone read, puts it in there. 32 says, I'm taking him down. And by doing that, he actually helps bring Martinez down because he fell over top, Chris, as you said, of Mills. Pride against pride. A team trying to not give up for some backup players and some starters that are trying to have a goal line stand.
Yeah, well put. 4th down. It's a fake reverse. Martinez still has the football. He's surrounded, backpedaling, and will just stumble down way back at the 16. Really had no chance to make a play. Buckeyes were all over it. Didn't bite on the reverse at all.
No, they had that covered. He looked backside, and Banks, the backup safety, took it away, and nowhere to go with the football.
ESPN's got that UCLA-Arizona game tonight. After that, stay tuned for SportsCenter. It says here Mr. Herbstreit will be joining them for his take on the game. Closer look at Virginia-Notre Dame game as well. A breakdown of the title fights in the ring and in the octagon tonight. SportsCenter after Chip Kelly's Bruins take on Arizona State team tonight. They don't have the quarterback at Tucson. Quarterback change finally. Chris Chuganov, the graduate. He's like Hoax, the Kentucky transfer.
That's right.
Actually, the second quarterback on the list here.
I think the
Fields night is complete, Kirk. 15 to 21, 212, 3 touchdown passes.
Just
a runner, 12 for 72, and another touchdown.
Just a complete performance. Outstanding player. In sync with the play calling of Ryan Day. And the scary thing is he's making his 5th start. He's only going to get better. And his offense, as I said, it's almost like a new page or two every week will continue to be added to what they're doing. And it's so diversified in the way they attack with his skill set. Think of the quarterbacks in the country. This is the year of the quarterback with Tua and Trevor Lawrence and Jake Fromm and Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts. Think of all these guys. You got to put this guy right in the middle of that discussion with his skill set and within this scheme and the players around him.
Various ways to grade quarterbacks, all the analytics. Fields was second only to Joe Burrow, by the way, ex-Buckeye, in that rating coming into this game. And it's hard to see that go down after this performance tonight. They do pick up the first down.
I'm just sitting here in my mind going over Ohio State teams. They've had some great teams going back to Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer, and I'm thinking, I don't know in the first 5 weeks if I've seen a more complete Ohio State team since maybe going back to Troy Smith's last year in 06. They ended up losing to Florida in the national championship that year. But as far as the way they looked almost the entire year, that 06 team was a dominant team. And this team's as good of Ohio State team as I've seen in years.
And still, as you know, haven't been tested, haven't had that real adversity. But you're talking about
just talking about execution, the way they look. I'm not saying they may not lose down the road or they're not going to get tested. I'm just saying the way executed and looked, dominant, complete team.
Well, what kind of a test can Michigan State provide next Saturday night here on ABC, 7:30 Eastern Time in the Horseshoe?
Well, Michigan State has always a defense. Mark D'Antonio is a former Ohio State defensive coordinator. He actually won a national championship in 2002 at Ohio State and always seems to get his team to go out and try to play with a chip on their shoulder. You know, they've been times they've competed and played well. Other times they've not done so well. But their defense will have to challenge Fields and the physicality at the line of scrimmage of Ohio State for them to come into Columbus and have a chance.
True freshman Marcus Crowley on that carry at Northwestern after an off week is the next challenge. That's a Friday night game, and then the big showdown in the Horseshoe against Wisconsin.
Everybody talked about this game being, you know, what about Purdue last year and Iowa 2 years ago? This is Nebraska. You're coming into Lincoln. If there's a game like that this year for Ohio State, it's at Northwestern. Sandwiched between Michigan State and Wisconsin. It wasn't a trip to Lincoln with this much hype and this much buildup. That's not where you sleepwalk into a game. It's a trip in where you sleepwalk potentially into a game.
Another first down carry for Crowley. You know, Dave told me last night he just stays up at night worrying about how his team will handle success and adulation. They've been patted on the back plenty the first 4 games. Now that comes up a notch after this performance, and he really, much like Urban Meyer, worries a lot about that.
And that was Urban Meyer's strength. The psychology, the warfare of dealing with a team, the ebb and flow of the emotions. What fans don't realize is these players don't play like this every Saturday. You're going to have your B-minus game one game because it's impossible to play at a certain level every single week.
Why not? Marcus Crowley, the freshman, just takes off and makes big explosive play down near the 20.
So to me, this team has had a collective edge since Urban Meyer left and even Dwayne Haskins left. They felt disrespected when Michigan was picked in the preseason, and that's a good thing.
Really look at that stuff. Is that really a major?
When you're a head coach, you use that.
Sure.
We've dominated that team all these years, and they're picked. You use whatever you can to get an edge, to get a chip on your shoulder. Now, everybody's going to be telling them, man, you guys, you're the best team in the country. They're going to have to block that out, keep that nastiness and that edge if they're going to do what they ultimately want to do at the end of the year.
And Day really believes that is a tough thing with the modern athlete, the young athlete who's so inundated with input and information. Ford wrap-up show. Cassidy Hubbard after this game. Minutes 10 and counting until tequila time.
What are you talking about?
Got our nightcap recap. I want to hear your thoughts on the day. And
the good thing is 48-7, we've gotten some of our thoughts out already.
We have, but
we'll have plenty more.
They'll be formatted differently later on, so I invite you to join us. Final minutes. Victory formation for Ohio State. This game was really over when they exploded early in the second quarter. 38-0 lead at halftime. The quarterback comparison is almost unfair because Fields compares favorably with any quarterback in the country. Tremendous efficiency. You see the true dual threat. Martinez had the 3 interceptions. It was a tough night for the sophomore for Nebraska.
And Martinez in Nebraska, you know, you obviously have to pick up the pieces. Still an entire season in front of them. Put this game behind them. They're trying to win the Big Ten West and be competitive in that division. And for Justin Fields, we just talked about it. Blocking out all this noise and being a leader and helping keep this team on the same path, the same energy that they played these first 5 weeks with.
And for Frost and the Huskers, they'll go back to work, dropping to 1-1 in Big Ten play. Ohio State wins it by 41 here tonight.